Hi, I'm Sean,
Hi, and I'm Shannon.
and we're the host of Wifey and Baby Mama. Happy Thursday, family, and happy Thursday, Shannon.
Happy Thursday to you too.
Welcome to episode 11 of season 5, fam. As always, we thank you all for spending another Thursday with us. We have just 4 more episodes, Shannon, and it's over.
Yes,
So thank
four.
you guys. Thank you for hanging in there with us. They say all good things must come to an end, but the great news is Wifey and Baby Mama always come back. And here
That's
to
right.
yeah, we always come back
Mhm.
every season. And here to join us with our good thing tonight, we have the very talented Mrs. Lakeisha Hall, who is a certified pharmacy tech with over 24 years in pharmacy. And we're gonna call her Keisha tonight because that's what her family calls her. And here at Wifey and Baby Mama, we all fam. In the club, we all
Yeah.
fam.
Mhm.
And
Right.
this all love. So welcome, Keisha. It's not Keisha's not only talented and quite beautiful, Shannon. She's very easily a candidate to weigh in on this topic, which is why I brought her in for us tonight. Check your signals. I've
All
never seen
right.
her have a problem putting someone in their place or getting them, to where they need to be. So I said, I think we're gonna need Keisha for this. We're gonna need a heavy hitter. Not,
Hmm.
she's out there. I'll let her give all of her details and credentials. But Keisha, why don't you introduce yourself to the listeners?
Introduce me. I am Kisha, certified technician. I've been a pharmacy tech for 24 years or more. Um, I am single and I have 5 children. I don't know what else to say.
Mhm.
That is more than enough, honey. That means that you can attest to the topic we're going to give out tonight. We got 5. We even up in here. Birth 4 and was inherited a beautiful son. So we 5 and 5 up in here tonight. All right, Shannon.
All
So,
right.
um, Shannon, you got anything you want to say? You want to beat the drums? You like
Oh,
to do your
just
little.
welcome. I want to say welcome, Nikisha, and I hope you enjoy the show. I appreciate the time you've taken to come join us tonight.
Thank you for
Thank you.
inviting
As I sit back sometimes, Shannon, I listen because of course you listen to your own episodes, right? You want to hear what you had to say, and I
Hmm.
be saying sometimes I talk too much. So Shannon, I be have to make sure I get you in there a little bit. I be talking a lot.
Ah, that's all right. That is all right.
So here we go, audience.
Mhm.
Tonight's topic is
Mhm.
kind of a conclusion or a rounding off, if you will, of 2 other topics we've discussed this season: contender versus companion earlier on in the season, and just last week, soul choices. So if you haven't listened to those, please go back and check them out. And if you have, and you say, "Well, tonight's going to sound kind of familiar," it's because it all ties together. And we wanted to be sure to cover these topics in this season. So, in the next seasons, we can move on and we're not backtracking. But we wanted to thoroughly get these topics from every angle by sharing our experiences and having guests with their own point of view share theirs. So we went deep because we want you listeners to understand that choosing your forever and finding your right now are 2 different things, okay? And we're not trying to persuade you in which way to go with that. That's between you and the Lord. We just want you to be real clear when it comes to what you're looking for when you're dating. So you can be clear to the person you're entertaining. More importantly, you give off the right signals and they can bring the right energy back to you, especially if children are involved. So, Keisha, this is your
you.
first stop here on Wife and Baby Mama platform. So, being that we are so cordial over here, we always let our guests get the first point. So, you buckled up, girl?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Well, as I stated, our topic tonight is about signals, and we're talking about cars or traffic signals. Okay, we're going to kind of
Mhm.
discuss the signals single women are giving out here. And Keisha, my question to you is: do you feel the way a woman presents herself is a determining factor in how a man treats her or categorizes her?
Um, that is like sometime depending on that man and what he's looking
Okay.
for. Some men,
Mm.
um, they still treat women the way they learn how to treat women, no matter how they dress or how
Mm,
they present themselves. So I can't speak on that, what a man's going to do because of the way a woman is presenting herself. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, the man is presenting himself most of the time as a representative. of who he really is.
Mm.
So,
Oh, Shannon, we've had that conversation a lot of
Mhm.
times on this
Mhm.
so
show.
that's what I see. That's what I see in most of the time when I meet someone. They portray themselves to be someone that they're not because they want to fill you out first. So, and see what you like and try to conform. I don't know if there's, a difference. I'm not sure. So,
What do you feel, Shannon?
So, no, so Keisha, you're saying you don't know if there's a one size fits all or
right.
um
That's what I'm
that
saying. I don't
okay,
know that.
okay, okay. Yeah. Yeah, and that kind of makes sense. When you look at some men, whether they're successful or, your ordinary blue collar, and they marry someone or in long-term relationships with, say, a stripper. You sometimes say, you know, you you know, uh, you wouldn't necessarily think that would be the type of woman they would go for, but they treat her with all types of respect or whatever. Then you have
Mm-hmm.
the guy that would treat her badly. You have the man that would go for that type, and she's totally mistreated and
And degraded.
sometimes even degraded, abused, and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So that is an interesting thing to think about. It really just depends on the man and maybe not necessarily how the woman is presenting herself.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I loved having guests for this very reason. That was not even a way I even thought about it. You know what I'm saying? That's not a way
Yeah,
I
yeah,
even,
me either. Yeah.
that's not even a way I put anything on it. Because I want to say this. I absolutely always thought the manner of dressing and the type of woman was a absolute determining factor until I grew up and
Mm.
became who I became, because I will go right out of work from the DA's office, full suit, 6-inch heels, classy, and if Luke come on, I'm going down to the floor in my suit. So you can't say because I'm well dressed that, oh, she doesn't do this or doesn't do that. Now I ain't gonna go out
Mhm.
there and full on, put on a strip tease. But but me
Right.
learning or knowing that manner of dance from being a Southern girl doesn't make me any less of a woman. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yeah.
I've never thought about the way she said it. Now it's also to a certain extent that, if you don't care what a person think, right? So being what I just said, suit tie, you can also dress sexy if you feel like it. It's still people are still going to classify you just like Keisha said, Shannon, the way they're going to classify you.
Mhm.
But for the
Right.
most part, what I'm saying is you don't have to be covered from eyes down to your toe, for people to be like, oh, that's a good woman.
Right.
But Shannon, I'm going to go ahead and tell you something that's not so popular. I'm a Christian, a mother of five, and and a wife. But sometimes, baby, I like
Mhm.
to show my legs. Okay, I think that's my best feature. I ain't at the weight that I would, desire right now, but my legs are still intact. And my husband don't mind, so I really don't care what anyone else thinks about it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I guess it's all balance, just like anything else we talk about.
Right.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
Okay. But what?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead,
I
Keisha.
just feel like it is. It's all about to me, and what I've noticed is how a man saw their father or someone before them treat a woman, and that's how they portray the way they should treat a woman or the things they've gone through when it comes to relationships. So a man has been hurt several times by a woman, he's going to treat women a certain kind of way. That's why we got so many men and women that don't like each other.
All
So
Mhm.
facts.
yeah.
It's a big fact. That's a
Yeah.
big fact, Shannon.
Yeah, it is. It is. And then you also have the men that um they're of course turned on and attracted to that woman that looks that certain way.
Right. Mm,
Has all that sex appeal, but once they get her, what do they
Mm-hmm.
tend to do? They want to cover her up.
right.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want
It's
nobody
a
else
fact.
looking at
So, right,
In fact,
right.
that's how you met her. So that's going to create a problem no matter how you look at it, because now
them.
you're trying to change her from
Mm,
something that she
Mhm.
was. When in fact, if that's
Mhm.
not the way you want your woman to be presented in public, maybe you shouldn't even approach her, because
right.
that's how you met her in
Right.
Mhm.
public. And it was all right with
Yep.
her and it was all right with you then.
Mhm. Yeah.
That even goes
Yeah.
for going to a club, Shannon. You know how some men will get a woman and be like, "Oh, but now you want me to become a homebody." But you met me
Right.
outside. And I'm not saying you should stay outside because that actually happened with me. I used to love to be outside. And I'm old now. I'm not going outside. Okay? So people change, but don't force me. Don't force me to do that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because you met me outside.
Yeah.
So I don't like that
Yeah.
either. I'm
Yeah.
go ahead, Shannon. You were gonna
But
say something.
but when, single women are out there, trying to, form these relationships, being true to yourself is good. We definitely want people to be real and be who they are, but also know that depending on what you're looking for or what you're trying to attract, there are certain people that you're not really going to get if you're a certain way. Meaning,
That's a,
it could be either
it's
way.
true.
You could
It's
be
true.
buttoned down and
Hmm.
you're totally classy and all that, but the guy you're trying to go after is that guy who's out there, who is
Hmm.
looking for that sexy chick. And vice versa, the guy that wants the classy chick and you're not that. Not saying you're not classy, every woman's classy, but the way you presenting yourself might be a little bit more um uh sexier than he would like. You might not get that person.
And
And I don't want women to think down, think bad about themselves. Don't think you have to completely change who you are to get with whoever you're trying to get with. Just make sure you're going for the person that really talks to
like
your soul,
that,
really meets you where you are.
that's right. And I'm going to tell you, it doesn't even have to be buttoned down or classy. I was a whole tomboy out here. I remember when I
Oh
met my,
yeah.
oh baby, I love me. I was a tomboy. I remember this one guy asked me, "You got any shoes? Are you wearing sneakers?" And
Mhm.
then I got out of sneakers and got into my high heels. And by the time I was on my second husband, he said, we were going to dinner. Shannon, we could go to the 7-Eleven. I'll get him on the phone right now. I'm throwing on my high heels, baby. Because once I got used to them, I liked them. That was it. Sneakers out the window. He said, you have any regular shoes? Like, you wear heels. We're going to the 7-Eleven. So it just depends on the person. And that didn't
Right.
say either way. It didn't say about who I was if I had on the sneaker, the tennis shoe, whatever you call it, or the high heel, or the stiletto, or flip flop. That's just the mood that I'm in. It doesn't speak to the person that I am. You know what I mean?
And it
So,
doesn't change your
Right.
sexy either, because sexy is a state of
huh?
mind. It doesn't change your sexy
Oh
either,
Absolutely.
yeah.
because sexy is a state of
Trust
mind.
me.
It's a state of mind.
I be,
So
Mhm.
that's why somebody's going to try to talk to you with your sneakers on, and me as well with Tim's on, and that's how I used to dress too. So I was a tomboy as well. So I didn't have a problem getting a man. So, and not necessarily was the right man, but it was no problem. It doesn't,
yeah,
to me, it
we
doesn't
got a
matter how
man.
you dress. It just doesn't.
But Shannon, to speak back to what you said, we need to be looking for people, or we're hoping to attract people that talk to our souls anyways, and not our wardrobes. Okay.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Now, ladies, can I jump a little bit and go a little deeper,
Mhm.
and a little bit past the close? And what, let me get it. Let me get my words right. And what we really want women to take from this topic, like I said, it's not all about wardrobe, or Keisha, like you just said, sexiness. Sexiness is a state of mind. It's about what we're doing and interacting with men and saying later on. So I want to talk about this video. So I was just trying to get a way to ease it in here. This video on social media where this guy was upset because the lady he'd been dealing with for a couple of months. She went on social media and put him on blast, called him a lowlife, a cheapskate, a few other names I'll leave out because it's a child friendly show. But because he wouldn't help her pay a bill after sleeping with her for a couple of months of meeting him. He
Oh
went
my
on to,
God.
but listen, he went on to say that she said, I gave you my body. This is quote, this is her exact quote from him. I gave you my body and I expected something in return. End quote. He said, I gave her the same thing she gave me. And y'all can read between the lines. We all grown. And again, and not so popular opinion, ladies, I had to agree with the man 100%. What are you giving me that makes me want to pay your bills? Because in his mind, my body is just as precious as yours.
Mhm.
So I'm giving you what you
Right.
gave me. So what do
Right.
you ladies
Yeah.
think about that?
I agree. You gotta have an understanding. If
Mhm.
that's what you want, say that. If if,
If it's
Mhm.
if
longevity,
it,
yep. If it's
yeah,
longevity and partnership, say that.
right.
You're
That's
right,
right.
Keisha. That's a total
That's
different thing.
right. Tell me what you want.
Mhm.
If you don't tell me, then I think
Right.
it's just sex. I'm giving you what I thought you wanted. There
Yeah.
you go.
And I think that should be discussed before you give him your most prized
Correct.
possession.
Correct.
Right. Right.
What do you think, Shannon?
Yeah.
Because sex
Oh
for
yeah.
money,
And I've yeah. That's one thing I've never really understood, and with a lot of women who feel like, oh, because I'm sleeping with him, he needs to pay for something, you know. And that we're not in a relationship. He's not my man. He's nothing but someone I'm just kicking it with. But I want him to pay my bills. I've never understood that concept. But maybe I'm old.
And I think they see that's from old days when grandma had that man at the house every day, going to work and coming home and paying her bills. That was her husband. It's,
that's
Yes, exactly.
it's not your man.
that's
Right,
right.
He don't owe you nothing.
right.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
And again, that's some things that should be discussed before the physical part actually takes place. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
But how do you discuss that, Sean? Hey, before we get together, and just know you're gonna be paying my electric
No,
bill.
ma'am. Sex for money is another topic. That ain't
That's
called.
right. That's right.
She was confused, Anna. How do you feel about the sex for money, baby? Is a whole nother conversation. That's a different title.
That's
Okay.
right.
So what you do is you date and you walk into that. You date and you, hey, last week
Okay.
we had a guest who said, when you meet a man, ask questions. She said at least 200. Now that might be a bit too many right off, like she said, but at least get to the point of knowing what are we in this? What are we doing? You don't
Yeah.
go immediately to having sex with a man to saying now I want you to pay my bills. I want you to be my no. That's not how it goes. So
Right.
that's why we're checking signals. That's the importance of this topic tonight. If you deal with the
Mhm.
man long enough, Keisha, if you can agree, you both of you listen to me. If you date, if you meet a guy, if you talk to that man for more than 30 minutes, you can already tell what he about. You ain't got to ask him.
Hmm. You can see
Right.
if you're paying
You can
attention.
see if you're in tune with yourself.
That's
And
right.
let's get this straight. If you're living a queen life, if you out here living a queen, a whole, because when I wasn't a wife, I was a wife. I was always prepared to be one. So if you listen, you can tell. And I can tell you right now how
Mhm.
many men that didn't get a second conversation or phone call from me. They first 30 minutes told me all I needed to know, seriously. Because if you are really a
Mhm.
woman, if you're really a woman and in tune with yourself, you ain't putting up with no mess anyways. But if
Hmm.
you out here just to get
Right.
what they giving, then get what they giving. But don't mix the signals. Don't cross.
Right. And one thing I'm gonna switch it a little bit too. Being in corporate America, I know a lot of us women in corporate, we some of us dress a certain way. Some dress like you said, Sean, in your suit and you're buttoned up and all that. But then others, I don't know in your line of work, but in mine, some come in, their chest all out or whatever, the cleavage showing, and then they wonder why they don't get the respect from their male counterparts. And they say, I've actually had one of my friends actually go off on me and said, it's a double standard. They shouldn't be looking at my chest anyway. I don't care if I have it out. I'm just as smart as they are. I'm this and that or whatever. But that's the world we live in. I mean, you can't really change that. So how you present yourself and the signals that you're giving off at work to your male counterparts, it, that can sometimes hurt your career. And I've seen it happen in so many cases. So whether you're trying to date or you're trying to climb the corporate ladder, unfortunately for women, it is a double standard. So what do you do about that?
Well, my chest out. I wear it out some days. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I went to school, baby. I got my education and I like my chest too. So, baby, I'm gonna let it all hang out. And I'm gonna tell you something. It ain't gonna be disrespectful, of course, because I'm a married woman. But even if
Right.
when I wasn't married, it's been plenty of years of my life that I was single in corporate America. It's out, baby. It is what it is. Because you're not going to judge me. You're not going to tame me. And I'm very confident in my skin. And you're not going to shame me to dress a certain way to attract a certain person. Because, again, Shanna, I've always been in tune with this. I'm going to attract what God has for me. And I can tell when it's not. And when that promotion is time to come for me, God gonna give me that too. And my chest, my blouse being buttoned, a button down, one down too many, isn't gonna stop me from getting it if it's for me. That's just how I look at it. What about you, Keisha?
Well, I understand what she's saying as far as the women having an issue with it
Right.
because men are very visual. They are,
Mm-hmm.
and they're looking and they're lusting and they
Mm-hmm.
I get that part. But I'm with um Sean on this because my scrubs, they may look tight to people. I have I
Mm-hmm.
got big things, you know what I'm saying? So everything, you know what I mean? Everything looks like, oh my God, you got that on? Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
If it's not goes against the code, then I won't wear it. But I'm gonna wear what I want to wear, and you feel how
Mm-hmm.
you feel. And I think people feel a
Mm-hmm.
certain way because I have big parts. You know what I mean? So they may
Uh-huh.
not say it to the skinny girl. You know what I mean? So it's like, leave me alone. But yes,
It,
Mm-hmm.
it's a
I
fact.
agree with both of you ladies. So it is a double standard. But like
Mm-hmm.
Sean said, I'm gonna wear what I want to wear, and I know that I attract what it is that I need for me. So
That's it.
yeah,
That's
Now,
it.
y'all,
it's good or bad, it's for me. I gotta learn something from it. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, y'all know me. I'm a hopeless romantic. I like all that fairy tale love. But that doesn't happen a whole lot in real life, Shannon. So I get what you're saying too. For the most part, if you want to meet people, you don't really want to meet men in the clubs and bars. But if you meet them in the
Mm-hmm.
church, it doesn't matter. But
Oh, yeah. Right.
sleeping with people on first date kind of sends out the wrong signal. And then like if you are looking for a husband, that's not really gonna look too good. But if you're looking for your good time, hey, do what you do. But what's important for us, what we're trying to get out here, what's important for us to know from us to you all is you have to check your signals. You can't send out dog signals and expect Prince Charming. That's just
Right.
it. And a lot
That's
of
right.
times, like Keisha said, they're going to look at you like they look at you regardless because of their past experiences, how they saw their mother live, their father, or how their past ex dogged them. We really have it's no perfect answer or equation to this, just like every topic that we do. But it is up to us, Shannon and Keisha. It is up to us what we put out, and that's all we can control.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
that's a fact.
You know, again, we're not professional relationship doctors, so I wouldn't be on marriage number 3 if I had all the answers. Okay, but
Right.
I
Right.
would be inclined to say, Shannon, that we've experienced enough foolishness to save somebody else from some of our mistakes, and that's why we show up here
Mm-hmm.
season after season,
Right.
and we bring on these
Right.
lovely guests who can also counter or agree with our opinions because it's more to us in this world going through these things, and we try to get every
Mm-hmm.
opinion that we can. So that's all I have to offer on the topic tonight. Do either of you ladies have anything you want to say?
um, basically for me, I just need everybody to know who they are and be that person to the fullest. That's it.
Right.
That's all you can
Yep.
Absolutely.
do. Pay attention to the signs
Per-
and don't red flags and know who you are.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Love it.
All right, Shannon, you got anything else you want to do add to the topic before we wrap up?
Nope. Let's wrap it up.
All right, we'll wrap up to next topic. Check your signal with this. Single ladies, if you're looking for a good time and not a long time, say that. However, if you want to be the girl he takes home to his family, don't go out in public and do things to make a man think you are for everybody. My mama used to say, no man wants a woman that just anybody can have, and vice versa.
Mm, I love it. All right. Great wrap up. Here we go now to the sound off.
So we've come to our sound off segment for tonight. This is where we announce a song related to the topic of tonight, while also hoping to add to your musical playlist. We use songs from all categories and genres, and tonight's song is by Ella Langley, Girl, You're Taken Home. That's another country favorite of mine, and I'm positive you'll like it too. So when we get off the show, go ahead and pop it on. It's Ella Langley, Girl, You're Taking Home. Suits and fits tonight's topic perfectly. And Shannon, tell them if they want to send us a suggestion or get in on this Goodmans for our segments, where can they send suggestions and comments to?
All right. You can send those to wifey and baby mama at gmail.com. Once again, wifey and baby mama at gmail.com. We welcome any song suggestions, any feedback. We take it to heart and we pay attention and we respond. All right.
We sure do. Thank you so much, Keisha, for joining us tonight. We hope you had fun.
I did.
Yeah. All right. Yes. Thank you, Keisha. Come back anytime.
I will.
All right. Until next week.
We love you all. Goodbye.
I'm wavy.